Great morning, business owners and managers. Wes Walters here, and welcome to another awesome episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. On every single CX in the Morning, I bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and I leave you with gems. And if you've been tuning in long enough, by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can implement at the speed of now. Yes, immediately after watching this broadcast, you can take what you've learned, sharing it with your team, making your team and your business better. So how has everyone's week been thus far? All right, we're gonna let Instagram notify the tribe. And in the meantime, I'm gonna be sure that we have great audio here on Facebook. Let's see. Nice. Audio is good. Audio is good. All right. So before we begin, just out of transparency, you're like, Wes, where are your glasses? And why do you have these shades on? Well, in the state of Georgia, we have something called pollen. And it's not what you think, the nice pollen. No. It's pollen on steroids. It's aggressive pollen. The pollen that attacks you when you open your front door, it hits you over the head with a baseball bat. That type of pollen. So if I was to remove these shades, it would look like I was in a fight with Mike Tyson and I lost. So my eyes are puffy and red, and I wanted to not look like I was in a fight. So I got some shades. Most of my shades are midnight black. And I know when you wear midnight black, if you're doing business, people don't trust you. So I got the shades that were where you can see my eyes, semi see my eyes. So it's a little light gradient. So hence why we have the shades on. I'm not trying to be cool, even though I am. I'm the coolest guy east of the Mississippi. I'm not trying to be cool, but the pollen in Georgia is another level. You can literally go out in the yard and make angels in the pollen. That's how much pollen it is. You can go in a car and write your name in the pollen. It's that intense. So just during this broadcast, it's at any given time, you just see water coming down my cheek. I am not crying. It's the pollen. And at any given time, hopefully this doesn't happen. If you see water just all of a sudden just gushing down my nose, it's the pollen, and I have my little handy dandy Bounty. So we're gonna call him Bounty Killer, right? This is Bounty Killer. So I just wanted to get that way. I'm not trying to be cool. It's the pollen. All right. So first of all, before we even begin, how has everyone's week been? How has everyone's week been? The check-in before the lesson. How has your week been? Let me know, how has your week been? How has everyone's week been? How has your week been? Everyone had a great week? Let us know in the comments how your week been. And if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely subscribe. If you're not watching it on YouTube, you should go to YouTube and subscribe. All right, so let me pull up my my talking points here so that I can speak intelligently about what we have to create, what we have to view today. It's going to be quite interesting. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Let's see. 1 second here. There we go. File location. Nope. All right, we got that. We got one up, and let's get the other. Let's find this. 1 second, because I have some, I need to share my screen. And yeah, you're gonna want to see this. All right, let's go in. Let's begin. Let's begin. All right, cool. So today I want to talk about, this is going to be a real quick show, by the way. And this show came about because over the weekend I was supporting a client at an event, and at the hotel at the hotel where we were staying, I was kind of appalled by what I saw. So let me pull it up so that you guys can see. So I'm going to ask, let me get my notes. Let me get my notes. Get my notes here. All right, so here we go. So I was walking through the skywalk, all right, the sky bridge of this hotel. And we're not, if you're familiar, if you're new here, you're going to learn is that we never list the name of a company if the experience was bad. If it was a negative experience, we never list the name of the company. If it was a good experience, of course, we list the name of the company, because we're all about stimulating the economy and having you go out and support businesses and patronize businesses. So in this case, it was a negative experience. So we're not going to list the name of the company. All right. So let the story begin. So I was leaving my room, walking through the skywalk. And when I looked down to my left, I saw what some would consider rubbish. Yeah, let's just call it rubbish today, right? And I was like, that is an unusual sight to see, walking through a glorious skywalk. I'm like, this is the view? All right. I said, well, all right, cool. So I kept walking through, and then I looked and I realized it was trash. It was old tables, old chairs. And I was like, this is a very bad look. Now, I want to be very clear. This hotel chain is not even it's not a Fortune 5 it's a Fortune 100. It's on a Fortune 100 list. But we're not going to list the name of the company or the brand. Fortune 100 list. And I could not believe of what I was seeing. Now, you're not gonna believe me, so I gotta show you what this thing looks like. I gotta show you. I have to show you what this thing looks like. I got to show you. You're not gonna believe it, so I gotta show it. 1 second. It was quite bananas. Let's see. There we go. I've got it now. So let me show you what I was seeing when I was leaving, when I was walking in the skywalk in this hotel. Let me show you what I was seeing. So let me pull it up. Let me share my screen here. So as you can see my screen, let me show you what I was seeing when I was walking through the skywalk. All right, so the customers can actually see when you're in the skywalk, when you're walking in the skywalk, the customers can actually see
The first time I saw it, I'm like, well, that must be storage. Maybe they could put a tinted glass to block the the visual. That's what I thought. I was like, hey, this is definitely storage. That's not the parking deck. But to my amazement, it is the parking deck, and you can see it literally walking through the skywalk. And customers can open their rooms and come out on the balcony. You can come out on the balcony, and guess what you see? Ta-da! So here it is. You pay for a top floor, and you come out on the balcony, and you want to see, baby. Let's see what the view looks like. Ta-da!
So there you have it. That's the view of walking through the skywalk. And let me show you a better picture of it. Zoom in. This is what customers are seeing walking through the skywalk. I kid you not. You're like, this got to be AI. This can't be true. Yes, this is true. This is true. This is very true. Show you another shot. This is the eyesore. Now, I thought they would eventually, logically put like a tinted glass to cover that. That's easy. That can, some plexiglass to cover that up. That's an easy fix. But no, that's not what was done at all. That's not what was done again. So anyway, what do you think? If you're watching, do you feel that that's acceptable? Now, this is a hotel on the Fortune 100. Fortune 50, because this company, I don't want to less. If I tell you what number it is, you're going to be like, I can't, I'm going to give it away. So I'm not going to give the company away. But this is a Fortune 50, not even less than the Fortune 100. This is a Fortune 50 company. And this is what they are revealing to their customers who pay for a balcony view. This is the view that they see. How do you feel? How does that make you feel? Does it feel inviting? Does it feel warm and cozy? Yeah, we want to know. These are not rhetorical questions. We want to know. Eric said, no way, Jose. Yes, way, Jose. Absolutely. That's what I said. But this is true. Tessa said, this can't be real. It is real. Yes, it is very real. Oh, Donald is typing. Donald said he would not be happy if this was the view that he saw. Rightfully so. Now it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the buildup. It gets better, ladies and gentlemen. Now, apparently that was the 4th floor. Now, that was the 4th floor. So when you are going to park your vehicle, you enter on the 1st floor, and the conference center was the 4th floor. No, so the conference center was on the 4th floor. So the conference center was on the 3rd floor. The conference center was on the 3rd floor, but the skywalk was on the 4th floor. There you go. There you go. So most people don't park on the 4th floor. So the 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd floors are the floors that are normally occupied by the guests. And the 4th floor is not a floor that is normally used. It's empty up there. Now, I could tell it was empty because I had like 2 cars up there, and pretty much a little bit of I'm assuming what was employee vehicles. So it's not a popular floor. The first 3 floors are where you go, where the most of the customers park. Now, I was on the 4th floor because someone from the hotel told me to get off on the park on the 4th floor, and they're going to meet me with the cart. So that's how I ended up on the 4th floor. This must be a secret floor because you're not supposed to be up there. However, she said, hey, meet me on the 4th floor. I'm going to have the bell card for you, and everything is going to be Gucci. Fine. All right. So now, this is the thing. So when I was leaving the conference center, I got off the elevator, and it was like a deleted scene from the Dave Chappelle show. I kid you not, right? So I get off the elevator and I was greeted by some wonderful, amazing hotel staff. This is how they greeted me. The elevator opens, they're like, they looked at me like, what in the F are you doing on our floor? I kid you not. Listen, I wish I had hidden cameras. Oh my God, that's why you always got to stay ready so you never got to get ready, right? These professionals greeted me at the hotel on the 4th floor like this. When I got off the elevator, they were like, what are you doing on the 4th floor? This is our floor. I was like, hey, don't mind me. Puff, puff, keep it going. Now, hey, look, I'm not against medicated marijuana. I'm not sure if it was medicated. I'm sure this marijuana was medicated. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But the tone, and they were so comfortable. They were so comfortable with being on their floor, like they never expected a guest to exit the 4th floor. They never expected that. And they were comfortable. How do I know they were comfortable? Because normally when you're doing something you're not supposed to do and you see the authorities or a guest, you try to hide the weed. You would try to hide the narcotics. Not these gentlemen. These gentlemen looked at me like, what you gonna do? And I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything except I'm gonna make some good content about it. Besides that, go ahead and enjoy. You know, hey, look. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know what? Let me show you some more pictures because you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. You have to see this. You have to see this. Let me share. Let me share because you're like, I'm not getting it, Wes. You're gonna get it now. You ask for it, you're gonna get it. So this is. So you know what? Let me show you the video first. Let me show you the video first. So when you open the elevator, this is what you see.
I don't want you to think that I'm over exaggerating. So this is exactly what a customer sees when they exit and they're about to go for their car. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. This is what you see when you exit the elevator of a Fortune 100 company.
I want you to think that I'm over exaggerating.
So right here, the professionals were sitting
And
they turned around looking at me like, what do you want on our floor?
So this is exactly what a customer sees when
you can see their drinks. This is where they hang out.
When they exit and they're about to go for their car.
So you have employees, like they have literally just created their own little lounge here. So this is a parking deck / employee break room / lounge / cigar hookah bar. Because the smoke, my God, the loud was loud. This was some new and improved stuff from Cali. Not that I know anything about the different strands, but I have friends that do. Not me, because my mom might be watching the show, and I would never do something like that. But not that I know. But listen, when you open the elevator, it was like the Up in Smoke concert with back in the early 2000s with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Anyway.
Yeah, this is in the parking deck. So this is what the customers see.
So as you can see, there's not a lot of cars up here. So this is the 4th floor is the top floor, and a lot of people never make it to the 4th floor because the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, it's massive. There's a lot of parking. So the hotel kind of like said, well, hey, nobody ever goes to the 4th floor. This is a great place to put storage and old chairs and rubbish. And the employee said, hey, Nobody ever comes to the 4th floor. This is a good place for us to make our hookah bar. Why not, right? I digress.
So this is what the customers see. This is the employees hang. This is where the employees hang.
See, they got a bench. Yo, they got a bench. And they got, oh my God.
Out. So
all right, so let's kill that. And let me show you. So you know what? Let's stop sharing right now. I want to see, tell me in the comments, how does this make you feel? A Fortune 100 company, when you spent $300 a night, you spend $300 a night, and this is the view that you see from your room. You spend $300 a night. This is the view you see from your room. This is the view. You pay for a balcony, and your balcony, this is what you see. How does that make you feel? This is the view you see from your balcony. How does that make you feel? This is the view.
all right, so the customers can actually see when you're in the skywalk. When you're walking in the skywalk, the customers can actually see the first time I saw it, I'm like, well, that must be storage. Maybe they could put a tinted glass to block the visual.
Now, again, if this is the case, they can simply put some plexiglass right here, from here to here to there to there, make it tinted windows, tinted glass, and immediately that's fixed. This is a $500 job from Home Depot, and it's done. $500 to buy the plexiglass. Engineering, who's full-time, can handle this in 1 day's work. So this is fixable. So I'm not against, if you're out of space, hey, you got to use the space wisely. I get it. No problem. So I'm not against, I'm not beating up on a hotel. That's not my gripe. I'm going to get to my gripe in a second. That's not my gripe. That is not my gripe. So here's my issue right here. Now, I would hate, or I fail to believe that this hotel doesn't have an employee break room. I don't believe that. I have not been to a hotel in the last 25 years that didn't have an employee break room, right? So they have an employee break room, but maybe you can't smoke in that employee break room. That's the problem. It's not medicated marijuana friendly, right? So here's the issue here. Here's my issue. This is a management issue. You're like, Wes, don't go there. You're always blaming management. That's why I don't watch your show. You're always blaming management. What about accountability for employees? Stop. This show is for business owners and managers. Yes, the buck stops with you. This is a management issue. Yes, so if you think, you're like, I'm always, I get it in the comments, people, you're always blaming the managers. Look, man, that's the cost of being the boss. Everything happens under your watch. So if you can't, take the heat, then you shouldn't come in the kitchen. Yeah, it is management fault. It is management fault. And if you listen, if you tune in and get out of your emotions, I'll show you why it's management fault. And there comes the sinus. Told you about the pollen, right? So let me show you why it's management fault. I'll tell you why, because I have notes. Because management knows about it. You're like, Wes, how do you know management knows about it? This right here. See this little I'm not a smoker, so this is this contraption is where you put cigarette butts. So let's call it a giant ashtray. If someone in the comments know what do you call these things, I don't know what you call these things. I'm not a smoker, but if you smoke cigarettes, you would know what this is called. But I'm going to call it a giant ashtray. This is how I know management knows about it, because the custodian of the property has to empty this. And if management is consistently putting chairs here, then management sees that the employees have turned this into the boom boom room. Because it's only a matter of time till we go up there and there's going to be Bluetooth speakers playing some trap music, and then it's a party. Meet us on the 4th floor in the boom boom room. That's coming. That's, matter of fact, that probably happens on Friday. I'm going to go back there on a Friday and see what happens. Because weed is legal in this area. It's a smoking area. It's a designated weed area and alcohol. All we need is music, and we have a party, ladies and gentlemen. So this is how I know management knows, because this has to be emptied by a custodian. And when he does his rounds, he has a map that he has to follow on a daily basis of where he cleans. So when he goes into the bathroom, where you can't see, there's a marker that he has to check that, hey, this bathroom was cleaned. Whether it's a device, it's a wireless device that this custodian has to check. So most security guards have the same thing. I know, because I was a security guard in college. So you have rounds that you have to do. And every time you go to a post, you have to check to prove that you were at that area. Otherwise, in the wintertime, we would just stay in the warm security booth and stay warm and never make our rounds. How do I know that? Not that I used to do that, because I have friends that used to do that. I would never do that. I have integrity. And if you're paying me to work, I'm going to work in college, right? That's what I would do. But security guards, I know that I was a security guard in college. I was monitoring my post was a truck yard for a shipping yard. And in February, when it's 19 degrees, I had to leave my warm security booth with my heater underneath my feet and do rounds. And I was like, are you kidding me? So all I got to do is sign this paper and say that I did it? No, I'm going to go out and make sure that I do the rounds. That's what you're paying me for. And then they realized that the other employees were not doing that. So they gave us these wireless devices where we had to, every hour and an hour, we had to check our posts. So in this case, the custodian has that exact same device. If he cleans the men's bathroom on floor 3, his manager knows, because he has to check that bathroom, and it's done wirelessly. Immediately, the manager knows that bathroom was clean, or at least he was in that bathroom. So the fact that this is here, that lets me know that that employee is emptying this ashtray. That's how management knows. So my point is, you're like, Wes, I'm bringing it full circle here. Why am I blaming the manager? Why am I blaming management? Because management thinks that it's okay to have. Management is not responsible for the smoking of the marijuana. I get that. But management thinks that this eyesore is okay. Management is fine with its customers seeing this. Let me give you another angle. And of course, I blanked out the logo, because we are not here to. This is the learning. This is about learning. Oh, you're not even seeing my screen. So let me show you. This is so right here, the logo is blurred out, but management is fine, is okay with showing its customers this. So before you check in, you're walking by this. Now, if you're lucky like me, you're greeted by employees who are indulging in the best cannabis east of the Mississippi. Okay? If you're lucky. If you're not so lucky, you just might hear some trap music. You might hear Elvis Crespo, because it was a Hispanic Black alliance up there. Yes. It was a little bit of trap. There was a little bit of Baja California in there, right? It was a Tex-Mex trap music fusion. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was a Tex-Mex trap music fusion. There you go. That's what it was. Shame on me for not knowing and appreciating the art. That's what it was. So if you're lucky as a customer, you're checking in on the first, second, and third floor of Field, you're going to have to walk by the Tex-Mex trap music fusion here with the employees greeting you. If you're lucky, you might get English or you might get Spanish. You just have to roll the dice and decide what you're going to get on that day and what strand of marijuana you might get. So again, this is management, because management can easily box this out where it can be not seen by the customers. But management is okay with this. Management is okay with you walking by this. Management is okay with you seeing this. And that's where my issue comes in, and why I put the responsibility on management. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. So let's dive in to see why this is unacceptable. Now, again, not that I in high school used to smoke marijuana. I'm not saying that. I'm not agreeing to that. I'm saying I had friends in high school that smoked marijuana. And there were two types of people. The ones that would smoke and were able to play basketball like Michael Jordan. They were far in between. There were few. But the majority of the guys in high school, when they smoked, they would mellow down. They would mellow. It's like, hey, chill. So I'm interested to find out how, if employees are smoking marijuana on the clock, how productive are they after indulging in their hookah, their marijuana hookah? So you can see how this is. Now you're like, Wes, how is this a management issue? This is cost management, productivity. These guys are not productive after smoking. There is no way you can convince me that after smoking, they're productive. No, they're not. So we see how this affects the bottom. Oh, you're like, oh, Wes, how does this, why are you talking about this? And how does this affect the customer experience? Stay in your lane, Wes. This has nothing to do with customer experience. Let's talk about the bottom line. Because my mantra is, I show corporate clients how to increase sales by creating an awesome customer experience, because it affects the bottom line. So let's talk about the bottom line. Productivity goes down after smoking. Productivity goes down. You don't want to, you don't want to. I'm convinced that these people smoke multiple times a day. They might hit it in the morning, hit it at lunch, and hit it on their break time. Because once you're a smoker, I worked around smokers all my life. The ones who smoke cigarettes. And look, it could be 1 degree or -7. Once they have that urge to smoke, they're going to smoke. They'll be out there dancing, but they're going to get their smoking. Once you're a smoker, look, it could be 1,000, -1,000. They're still smoking. So I know these people who are smoking this weed, they're smoking as frequent as the cigarette smokers. So the productivity goes down. Now let's talk about safety. How does this affect the bottom line? What happens if an engineer chooses on his break time to smoke in the boom boom room on the 4th floor and then falls off a ladder? Oh, now you're seeing him. You're not in your emotions anymore. Now you see how this is management fault, huh? The comments are coming in now. Oh, Wes, you're right. Oh, Donald, Wes, you're right. I never saw it like that. Well, I'm glad you're still here, Donald. I'm glad you got out your emotions and you allowed me to expound on what I was about to teach. See what happens when we get away from our emotions? Now, I expect more from you, Donald, because you've been here before. I need you as a man to not get caught up with your emotions. And this is just a man talking to another man. I'm not belittling you. I'm saying, hey, we have to learn to control our emotions. You got into a pissy fit. You're like, I'm always blaming management. Why are you always blaming management? And now you're coming around and you're seeing why this is management's fault. Because now we see how it affects the bottom line. So when we start talking about money, you're like, oh, that's management. Oh, if you're talking about money, it's management. So you want all the praise, but none of the criticism. That's not how management works, buddy. As management, you have to take all of the good and the bad. So I'm glad you came around, Donald. I'm happy to have you here. You always make great comments, and I'm glad that you got away from emotions. You see how simple, when we take away emotions and we start looking at things logically, we see the detriment here. So now what happens if an engineer gets on the ladder right after he was smoking on the boom room, in the boom room on the 4th floor, and he falls. What does that do to your insurance management, Donald? Well, you know what happens. That's a claim, and there's monies, dollar signs attached to that. And productivity goes down because your chief engineer, he's out for 6 weeks. Oh, we're talking about money now. But guess what? He's on medical leave, so you're still paying him. Oh, I got the manager's attention now. So you see how this affects the bottom line here. Donald is giving me the thumbs up. Hey, if I got Donald's approval, that means I'm good. Now, that's on a good day, Donald, if you're lucky. The engineer falls off the ladder. All right, cool. That's a good day if you're lucky. What happens if the engineer on the ladder drops that lighting fixture on a child that's beneath the ladder, and that child has a skull fracture? Donald, your problems have just amplified times 10, buddy. Oh, Donald said, I apologize, Mr. West. It is management fault. Everybody give Donald a digital round of applause for coming around. Let's give Donald a digital round of applause. So if you're lucky, the engineer, your employee, falls and he hurts himself. All right, go home for 6 weeks. If you're not so lucky, management, Donald, he drops a lighting fixture on a child. And now you have a lawsuit that's coming down the pipeline that's going to, in addition to the negative press, in addition to the footage that the customer, the mother, went up to the 4th floor and saw employees smoking on the clock. Donald, I think it's time for crisis management, don't you think? So now we see, bringing this whole full circle, now we see how this affects the bottom line. Because when we start speaking about problems, Donald is like, no, this is not management fault. Employees need to be accountable. I get it. But now when we start talking about money, Donald is like, you have my attention. I'm open. Tell me more. So we have to start maybe talking about money first, because Donald, managers speak money. So next time I'm going to lead with, hey, this is about money. Stay tuned. Don't check out yet. So again, Donald, if you're lucky, the engineer falls and he hurts himself. If you're not so lucky, he drops that lighting fixture and fractures the skull of a child. And now the lawsuits are coming in, and you need crisis management, and you're hiring a PR firm to help you with the onslaught of the video footages that are on the internet that are going viral because your employees are on the clock smoking and don't care. They're like, I'm not even gonna hide it. They're like, yeah, we're smoking. So what? What are you doing in the 4th floor? Like, again, the way these guys looked at me, and girls, it wasn't just guys and girls, it was guys and girls. They looked at me like, what in the world are you doing on our floor? And I was like, well, I rented a room for the night. I figured I could park anywhere. No, you're not allowed to. You can park on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor. The 4th floor is our smoking lounge. It's a Tex-Mex trap music fusion boom boom room. That's what we do on the 4th floor. And if you don't like it, you can go to hell. That's the look that they gave me when I got off the elevator. They're like, what are you doing here, customer? This is our floor. Like, the audacity, they looked at me like, in a sense of arrogance, like really, what are you, like, they were disgusted. Like, I was messing up the flow. Like, you're killing my vibe. Like, dude, you're killing my vibe. Why did you get on this floor? Is there an error? Are you lost? Why are you here? That's the way they looked at me. And I was like, hey, go ahead and keep smoking. Keep throwing it back. I just want to get to my car. I'm just going to load up, and I'm going to give you guys the floor back. I mean, again, and the smoke. And they had no regard. They didn't even try to be like, oh my God, hey, customer. Like, see, when I was doing it, if I was doing it, we would have someone on the 3rd floor, or we would have someone on lookout on each floor so that whenever we would have someone in the elevator, be like, hey, if someone hits the 4th floor, you radio us, be like, hey, a customer's coming up, clear it out. But nah, these guys they're like, nah, we're not doing that. This is our floor. Nobody's coming up. And yeah, we're going to smoke. In a couple of months, marijuana is going to be legal in our state, and we're just going to pay it forward and start smoking now on the clock. So again, this is unacceptable. Oh, you know what? It's unacceptable to me. But I want to know, how do you feel if it's unacceptable to you? Let me know if you are okay with a Fortune 100 company. Not a Fortune 5,000, Fortune 100 company having its employees smoking on the clock. And not only that, but if you checked in, if you paid $300 a night for a room, would you be okay with being greeted with this as you walked to the elevator? Were you okay with seeing the employee, the impromptu employee lounge with the blue chairs and the bench? So this is your room over here, and your view is this. Were you okay? Are you okay with that, paying $300 a night for a room? I mean, let me know in the comments. So I see a lot of people piling in right now, but we are literally wrapping up. I need you to watch the replay, and just a heads up. You're gonna eventually, if you're like Donald, you're gonna be like, there he goes, blaming management again. It's always management fault. I hate this guy. This bald-headed guy is always blaming management. So get out of your emotions and watch it. And then you're gonna realize even Donald came around. Donald's giving me the thumbs up. Donald's like, yeah, you're right. So don't get in your emotions. If you're a business owner and manager, yes, I am gonna be blaming management, because it is management's fault. It is management's fault, because the cigarette light, the ashtray proved that management was aware of it. So management knows this is happening. It's happening under management watch, and they're okay with it. Management be like, yeah, you guys go up to the 4th floor and do whatever you want. It's your floor. And we're not even going to, compartmentalize this thing so our customers don't have to see it. No, we are fine with our customers seeing it. So I'm not saying management is fine with employees smoking. Management might not be aware that they're smoking marijuana. Management might think they're smoking cigarettes. So I'm not blaming management for that, but I am blaming management for this. Management knows this because management put it there. I am blaming management for this. I
don't want you to think that I'm over exaggerating. So this is exactly what a customer sees when they exit and they're about to go for their car. Yeah, this is in the parking deck. So this is what the customers see. This is this is where the employees hang out.
So yes, I'm blaming management for that. I am definitely blaming management for this. This is the view from my room. I'm blaming management for that. So yeah, I'm blaming management for this. When you're leaving your car and you're walking to the elevator, you might see some employees loitering here. You have a trash can, you have an ashtray, table that they set up, little spot for their drinks. This is the bar right here. This is the bar. There's a drink cup, if you can see. Got the OJ or the cranberry and OJ and the Henny here. So yeah, it's a full club. It's the boom boom room. So that's management fault. So I'm not blaming management for, again, what they're smoking marijuana, but I am blaming management for the eyesore, because here it is. Let me wrap this up. In the hospitality industry, you have 2 times that are the most important times of the customer journey. All right, this is the gem. If I say gem, it's time to take notes. So this is the gem. In the hospitality industry, there are 2 times that are vital that you have to ace. You must ace. This is paramount. You must. It's not a maybe, not a should. You must ace these 2 times. The first is a warm and inviting welcome. If you are a hotelier, if you own a bread and breakfast, number 1, you must ace a warm and inviting welcome. Number 2, the second time that you must ace is a sincere farewell. Those are the 2 times where you cannot mess up. When they're coming in, they have to feel like, oh my God, everyone knew our names. They wanted us to be here. When you're leaving, you need to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to come back here. Those are the 2 opportunities you have in the hospitality industry to get it right. And those 2 opportunities, this Fortune 100 company got it very, very wrong. It's an epic failure. This is what you see on your way in, warm and fuzzy welcome, and this is what you see on your sincere farewell. Are you kidding me? So again, this affects management because it affects the bottom line, and this is unacceptable. Now, we're not going to list the name of the company because we only list the name of the companies when things go right, never when things go wrong, because the purpose of this is a teaching, is for teaching opportunity so that you are watching that you shouldn't do or what you should do when things go right. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Take heed. There's a clear difference between eye candy and eyesore. These are simple eyesores that can quickly be changed into transformed into eye candies if management thought there was an issue, but management doesn't see a problem with this, and that in itself is an issue. All right, that concludes this episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. I am your gracious host, Wes Walters. On every single CX in the Morning, I'll bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and I'll leave you with gems. And by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can use to make yourself, your team, and your business better. We'll be right back here next Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern, for another awesome episode of CX in the Morning. Peace.